Hello everyone, this is Money Map. Join us as we review the activities on the floor of Nigerian Stock Exchange. It's at the end of week 3 February. As we are very well aware, if you have been following this channel for a while, the market is looking down at the moment. First, due to the reintroduction of high interest rate bonds by the federal government, which we talked about in one of our previous videos. And you could see the trend if you look at the all share index. Like we always say, the all share index is like a one price that averages the performance of the overall market, right? So from Monday to Friday, we'll notice a constant decline in the index value from 40,571 to 40,494 to 40,465, all the way to 40,186.7 at the end of the week. So for throughout the five trading day in the week, the market declined, and so week on week it was like a decline of 0.95 percent. Other So during the week there were other macro economic data that was released to the public. Here we have the GDP growth rate. So GDP, gross domestic product, that summarizes the value of goods and services produced in the economy. We see, so the report is released on a quarterly basis. So we see from January 2018, you could see the movement 1.89, 2.38. I think the highest was 2.5 at January 2020, just before the whole nation under lockdown due to restrict the spread of coronavirus. The result was that in June 2020, you will notice that 6.1% decline in GDP growth. So meaning that instead of the economy producing more goods and services, we produce less. Of course, that doesn't require much imagination since a lot of people were at home, locked home. Many industries were shut down, aviation, leisure industries, they were shut down in major cities in the country. By September, which is the third quarter, the decline reduced to 3.62% for the same reasons. But of course, at this time, a number of industries have been opened up. And technically, if you have 2 quarters back to back of negative economic growth, that's what we call recession. And it affects everyone because it means that generally speaking, there are less business activities going on, less money flowing around, right? So the last GDP report was as at December 2020, and that showed a growth of 0.11%. That's good news. That's recovery. But this is a belated piece of news going by it. So we're talking of December 2020 report, and we're in March. So we may not necessarily use what happened then to gauge what has happened in the last 3 months. GDP growth is one of these indicators that we call lagging indicators. They are telling us things that have already happened, not things that will happen. On the other hand, we have another indicator, the inflation rate, which is a leading indicator. It shows us what is likely to happen. So looking at the indicator, the inflation rate, and this one is published on a monthly basis, we see from 2020 the gradual progression of inflation. What is inflation rate? It's a general increase in price. So it's not just one thing, a lot of things. So currently, the National Bureau of Statistics that conduct the inflation survey every month, they have a basket of about 500 goods and services, which includes transport costs, education costs, food costs, all sorts, telecommunication, things that we normally spend money on. And when they look at the average, they look at the average rate at which the prices increase. So you see the gradual progression over the years, 13.71, and the increase. The increase is driven by several factors, largely on the supply of the goods and services. So everyone will agree that a major component of our daily expenditure as household will be food costs, transport costs. But what has been happening to transport costs? Fuel has gone up. Fuel is also a major component of food costs because foods are not grown and inside the city. they are grown in the village, in the suburbs, in the villages, and you still need transportation to bring them to the city. So that affects the price, and the insecurity, general insecurity that made many farmers to abandon their farm, meaning that the little produced we have to be priced high, right? So we've been having this progression, and by January 2021, we have 16.47% inflation rate, which I think about that's the highest in the last 5 years. So if Corona made people to stay at home, meaning that they didn't buy goods, increase in price could also achieve the same undesired objective, in the sense that um, so if something is priced beyond the pocket of an individual, the person will just check for things he or she cannot do without. So that could be um, medical costs, cost of medical treatment. Food will be a major component, maybe education to some extent, depending on the quality of education. And the other things they tend to postpone or ignore altogether. So, like leisure, like whatever. And so that's is going to cause that could cause inflation, that could cause another GDP decline, another recession again, if prices of items are way beyond the reach of most people. And that what will happen is that they are not able to buy, those who are producing are not able to sell, and that the next thing, producers will start closing their shop, rolling laying off employees and things like that. So there's a need to address the situation, the security situation. Dollar exchange is also a component of this high inflation rate, because by the time they import at high dollar rate, the price will also be added, and they want to pass it to the consumer. So all these things are telling us that there may still be more challenges for stock investments, because if output is reduced either due to increase in price, then they are not able to make the profit they ought to make. So the outlook is not so good for stocks, meaning that we'll have a downtrend. It doesn't mean that there will be no stock that does well during a downtrend, but it just means that so during an uptrend. So what's an uptrend or a downtrend? An uptrend is when prices will just go up, and usually it doesn't need much expertise to make money during an uptrend. Just jump on almost any stock, you make money. It's the downtrend that things stock prices tend to go down every week, or from every time to another. Then you now need to look deeper and look out for quality investment that can really preserve one's capital. So let's look at other events that happened during the week. So corporate actions, a number of companies declared dividends. So Nigerian breweries are currently traded at 59 naira. They declare 69 kobo. So a measure that every investor should know is the dividend yield. Is just to compare the dividend paid by the company to the price. So 69 kobo to 59 naira stock is just like a 1% dividend yield. Africa Prudential also announced 50 kobo, and the current stock price is 7.3 naira. So that's about 7% yield. So far, United Capital did fantastic by declaring 70 kobo dividend for a stock that is 6 naira 35 kobo. So that's like 11% dividend yield. Of course, when you are paid dividend, um, there's a tax deduction of 10% is also made. So once you adjust for that, we should adjust for that in our mind. And so we will look at how the prices of United Capital will perform in as they move towards the closure date. So the closure date is that so anybody whose name does not is not on the company register as at the closure date will not benefit from that dividend payment. So United Capital is something you want to watch, whether it will go up or go, fall in price at this time. We'll find out the time. Thank you very much. So please subscribe to this channel, share to among your friends, loved ones, make comments. We invite you, as usual, to join our community, IMAP community, where we give you investment signal, what you buy. So on this channel, we share opinion, but it's at IMAP that we give specific investment signal, and not only that, we also train because we feel that people should not just just take investment instruction. Rather, they should understand the basis of which we are reaching the conclusions and the justification for what we are recommending. So that's how it was. It's a 1 year program. So to join IMAP, you click the link is provided on the description video. That's it. Thank you so much. God bless.